So good evening, everyone, and a big welcome to all of you to this Invest in Leisure webinar. We're really excited to have all of you. The campaign launched early this year, but it's really been our first opportunity this evening to host a collective forum, I guess, in terms of giving all of you unique insights into what the campaign's all about, what it offers from an investment perspective, and really to be able to understand it a lot better, which is really the main objective of why we're doing this. So my name is Stefan Botha, and I'm the director of Rainmaker Marketing. And my job tonight is to facilitate the discussion with Pat and Fiona, who I will introduce in a couple of seconds. And just a big welcome to you on behalf of the Beekman Group, who are the team behind Invest in Leisure and the team behind all the different projects that are showcased within the portfolio, and also that you have access to. And I think really excited to be able to talk to the experts about this evening and really get all of you to understand a lot better. So the objective of this evening is exactly that, a bit of a behind the scenes insights and stuff that you might not necessarily be able to see on a brochure and just hearing it directly from everyone. We're going to keep the discussion around 45 minutes. We know everyone's time is really valuable, but in that time, I will be asking quite a lot of questions, but also ask that you will ask questions and post them in the chat below. And we'll try and answer as many of those and get through as many of those as we can. I'll direct them to either Pat or Fiona, depending on who's best suited to answer it. There will be a recording of this, which will be circulating to everyone who has either RSVP'd or attended. I can see a lot of people coming into the chat as we speak. So I think we'll have a really, really good turnout tonight. And I think just by way of introduction, Fiona Broom, who's the group executive at Beekman Group. Hi, Fiona.
Hi, Stefan. Thanks very much for having us today, and a warm welcome to everybody that's joined us today from the Beekman Group. We appreciate your time.
And then to Pat Labuschagne, who's also the group exec at Beekman Group.
Good evening, Stefan, and good evening, listeners. Thank you very much for joining us and giving us your valuable time this evening.
So I think before we jump into questions, I just wanted to provide a little bit of context into what has shaped Invest in Leisure as a product offering and as a campaign. So I think we all know that the leisure industry is in a really, really good space post-COVID. We know that South Africans have got a leisure mentality that is focused around largely the beach, the bush, or the berg. And it's quite interesting that you'll see a lot of what you see in our backgrounds are related to those factors. And it's in the DNA of South Africans. But if you look at the travel within this country since COVID, we've seen year-on-year growth in terms of international travel, local tourism revenue, and pretty much bouncing back to pre-COVID levels. But if you look at the rise, and anyone who goes to an airport at the moment, whether it be local or international, doesn't need to be rocket science to work out that there's such a big demand at the moment. And we are certainly seeing levels pushing way beyond pre-COVID levels. And it bodes really, really well. But if one looks into property, which is something as a business, Rainmaker Marketing, we're obviously involved in different property investments locally and internationally. And we see ones that differentiate themselves. And I think if one looks at the fundamentals of property investments, one invests into property first and foremost because it's an asset class that generates capital appreciation or rental income or a bit of both. And you generally decide on what it is that best suits you, and you try and find a combination between the two. But we all know that in this country, it's one of the strongest ways to build generational wealth, without a shadow of a doubt. It goes through different cycles of the market, but generally always will continue to grow. But then when you find, and I'm talking sort of high level nutshell, you will look at the returns in terms of rental income, either being long-term rental income or short-term rental income. And what we're finding as a trend throughout the country, and driven largely internationally too, is that those who are investing to property that have short-term rental returns are achieving much higher rental yields. And that is because you can leverage more from a pricing perspective and short-term. The occupancies are quite high, especially if the locations are quite good. And then what's happening is that a lot of the developments are launching are doing it off the back of unproven figures and resorts that yet have to be built. So when you're combining that, the short-term benefit of property investment with proven resorts, with proven track record and proven figures, and you're combining that with a hassle-free way of managing that, where it's all managed for you and returns paid to you after costs have been deducted. And then you add the additional tier, being able to utilize that benefit and being able to have your own nights to utilize and the ability to swap it. You've actually got the most unique property investments you could possibly find. And I think that's why we're so excited to be involved in invest in leisure as a concept and be able to launch it to the market. And I think that's what we really want to be able to unpack tonight in a very, very short, sharp way, because the challenges people face in the property market is that the credibility of the developers is sometimes unknown, and it's sometimes unknown as to whether they will develop the product that they promise. And also it's always a variable as to what returns that are promised upfront, whether they will actually deliver. So when you're investing into a product that has proven returns, that are achieving the numbers every month by a developer who has done it many times before and continues to do it, and you can walk into a product and you can look and feel and you can touch and feel, it takes away all the challenges. And so yeah, let's just get into it. I think I just want to start off, Fiona, but if you just give us a bit of a background. We always say that jockey is the most important thing, the people behind it, people who are developing and running and operating. Can you just give us a bit of an insight into the Beekman Group and what it stands for, but also the history behind it?
Thanks, Stefan. So I think what you said there was really important around the fact that when you're wanting to invest in a company, you need to be able to trust the brand that you're investing in, and has that brand got a proven track record. And I think, coming on behalf of the Beekman Group, you really do have that in spades. And so for those who have never heard of the Beekman Group is a property development and leisure development company, and it's a group of companies that was established in around 1971. So it's around 54 years of experience in the hospitality, tourism, leisure sector, as well as the property development sector. The group we manage over 40 resorts in 4 countries across Southern Africa and Australia. And at this particular point in time, we service over 80,000 members that have been working with us for many, many years. And it is a family-run business. It is run by the Beekmans themselves, the Beekman Group. And as a family-run business, it's in its second generation of directors who are Beekmans, who started the business in 1971. And with over 40 resorts and 50 years of experience, your investment is in good hands. And so, what the directors bring as a family business is a real great complementary blend of organizational skills that really run this company successfully. And it is a company that has consistent success in what it does and has been doing so for 50 years.
Yeah, no, and I think to add to, just explain, how does that tie in with invest in leisure as a concept, and what is that high level? And what is the Beekman managed portfolio that sort of links into invest in leisure?
So ultimately, the Beekman Group develops or manages or owns a variety of resorts. And I mentioned 40 resorts that we directly own or manage. And they are leisure properties, so they're resorts. And our job really is to fill those resorts with people going on holiday. And the way we do that is through making accessible different options for people to join that. And one of the ways that we've done that is by giving people a little piece of either the paradise that you're sitting in front of there, Stefan, or a piece of a lovely bush resort or a lovely berg resort where they can actually own it themselves. And so and Pat can correct me if I'm wrong, but in around about 2017, we started making these properties accessible via sectional title purchase. And what that really means is that you get to own your unit, your villa, your apartment in that specific resort. And it allows you a whole lot of benefits that come with that. And the 4 resorts that we are talking about today form part of what we call the Beekman Managed Portfolio. And the shortened version of that is BMP. And it really is the Beekman Group's a collection of high-end developments that offer a whole combination of lifestyle and leisure property investments. Investing in BMP also makes you a member of BMP, and because we are a leisure company as well, there is a host of benefits that come with that. So what happens there is, because we are managing those resorts, your investment is such a hassle-free investment. So all maintenance, all day-to-day issues are pretty much in the capable hands of our BMP officers. You have holiday flexibility through various ownership options that you can buy into. It really is a sound investment with a 50-year-old successful property development company. The unique thing about investing in one of the Beekman Managed Portfolio resorts is that you not only get proven results in terms of your yielding returns, but you get to also use your own property for 14 weeks of the year for your own holidays. And besides being able to access your own resort, your own unit for 14 weeks of the year, you can take those 14 weeks and you can exchange them through our holiday exchange program and exchange it to over 3,000 resorts that we have access to both locally and internationally. So it really is a unique product in that way. And then while you're enjoying 14 weeks of holiday, that plus the rest of the year, you are busy generating rental income as well from your investment. And then on top of that, it's your normal holiday discounts and free facilities that we give to our BMP members that own. So it really is a unique type of investment that makes it very different to purchasing a normal commercial or residential property. When you purchase a leisure property, you're also purchasing a leisure lifestyle with that, if you will.
Thanks. I mean, I think that sums it up really well. And I think that the challenge, I guess, is for people to wrap their head around it, in the sense that it's so different to sort of differentiate, because there's so many different options within the leisure space, but to actually understand, okay, well, there's a sectional type of investment, so it makes financial sense on its own. But then the added leisure benefit, especially if you are South African who is traveling for leisure and enjoying the beach, the bush, or the berg, like we said, it's it almost sounds a little bit too good to be true if you actually understand the fundamentals around it. But obviously we're not here if that was the case. And I think just in terms of the 4 options within Invest in Leisure where you can invest. I mean, can you just quickly touch on Kaylee, the Kingdom, San Martino, and Me in the Mix?
Yeah, so we've taken, at the moment, we've got 4 of the best resorts arguably the best resorts in South Africa in our portfolio as the option for you to purchase in a sectional title. The first of those properties is Kaylee Mountain Resort. It is a very beautiful resort located in the central Drakensberg. This resort has absolutely postcard perfect picture views over the Staghorn and Cathkin peaks, arguably the best views in the Berg, if we may say so ourselves. But it is a resort that has won a World Travel Award for South Africa's leading lifestyle resort, and they won that award in 2022 and 2023, and we're in the running to win that award again. It really is the most beautiful setting overlooking the mountain, but it also overlooks the Bell Park Dam. And at the Bell Park Dam, there's a Kaylee Beach Club. It's, again, the only beach in the Berg you're going to find at Kaylee Mountain Resort. And that really is a very tranquil and modern lifestyle type resort, and has a bunch of facilities from a body bliss day spa to restaurant and bar, a shop, a Leap Adventures adventure center, a kids club, leisure programs, and numerous other facilities. So that's our Berg resort that we have in the mix. The second resort is the Kingdom Resort, also a really well-known resort, very popular resort in South Africa. It's tagline for the Kingdom Resort, and a lot of people refer to it as kind of reserved for royalty. It really is a truly unique African experience, kind of like an African style village landscape, and it's within minutes of Sun City and the Pilanesberg Airport. It is also home to one of the most unique facilities, and that is the rare game experience, and that's really a game drive type of experience that you won't get anywhere else in the world. And it is really one of the most beautiful things to experience, with some of the rarest games on earth, with informative and interactive wildlife experience that you can go to, as well as a bunch of lovely facilities like Kaylee had. It's got a water park, it has an outdoor cinema, restaurants and bars, again, a body bliss day spa, Leap Adventure Center, kids club, leisure program, etc. So that's your second, and that's in the Berg. And then your third resort that we have sectional title offering that you can purchase. Oh, the one thing I didn't mention about the Kingdom Resort is it's also had a World Travel Awards award for South Africa's leading family resort. And that award was awarded to them in 2023. And again, the resort is up for another award in 2024. So you can see by these two World Travel Awards that these are genuinely some of the top resorts in the country. Then moving a little bit into Africa, into Mozambique, we have San Martino Beach Club. And that is known by many people, it's really called the jewel of Mozambique, and for good reason. It really is your typical tropical beach holiday dream come true. It's located just north of Belém, and it's situated right on Belém's lagoon. So with about 1.3 kilometers of beach frontage, that resort, every unit that you're purchasing will have direct access to that absolute pristine beach. And besides that, it has a load of facilities like the other two resorts have got, from a beach spa to a whole range of water-based activities that you'd normally find at a tropical beach resort, like fishing, kayaking, kiteboarding, boat trips, snorkeling, water skiing, etc. And then the fourth property takes a slightly different turn and heads up to Gauteng, and that is the Menlyn Mix property. And it is a property situated in Menlyn, Maine, very close to the Menlyn, Maine's vibrant shopping and restaurant scene in Pretoria. So very, very popular area. And as I understand it, sectional title opportunities for investment are quite in high demand in the Menlyn, Maine area. And that is an off-plan development. We are in the process of developing it, and it is starting to become very popular. So, trying to get the sought after property, I wouldn't snooze if I was anybody in terms of actually getting into that property. That will be a lovely mix of modern features and fittings, a lovely mix of being able to travel. One of the areas in tourism that is booming at the moment, and it's come out of COVID, where there's a lot of people that are working remotely at the moment, are almost wanting extended stays in resorts, and Menlyn Mix is a perfect place for that, where you might have business up in Pretoria, up in Gauteng, and you want somewhere to stay that really makes you feel like you are in a resort kind of feeling, but has some business facilities for you to also work in. So yeah, you couldn't get 4 better leisure properties to invest in. And so those are absolutely beautiful properties, and take a look and have a look at what piques your interest. Is it the bush? Is it the Berg? Is it the beach? Or is it Menlyn Mix in Pretoria? Or maybe one of each?
So Pat, I'm going to bring you in. I don't want to throw you into the deep end here, but there are quite a lot of questions that have come through, Mohammed and Samuel. So, but a lot of these questions I would have asked you anyway, so it actually works out quite well. But and Samuel, just to let you know, I know you've said here you're interested in the Kingdom. Please share the price list and the map to see the available units and position. We will do that for you. We'll send you all the information. And then Mohammed, I know, has asked about the financial breakdown per unit type, especially for Kaylee, and we'll be able to send that to you in terms of breakdown. I will ask Pat just to sort of elaborate a little bit. But I think, Pat, maybe just a start-off question is Samuel's asked, if I purchase a unit, do I own it?
Yes, you do. So what will happen after you pay for it? You'll take transfer of the unit, and then you'll own it, and you'll get the deed to the unit.
Okay.
So it's like any normal sectional title investment, apart from the fact that it sits in the rental pool for you.
Okay. And then Pat, just quickly, maybe if you can, I mean, obviously, I know there's been a question asked here about fractional ownership, but also how would you explain just high level the difference between the sectional title opportunity within Invest in Leisure, as well as the typical timeshare model, and then potentially, I guess, the fractional model?
Okay, so basically, if you've got the timeshare model, you've got the fractional model, and then you've got the sectional title model. Your timeshare model is that you own 1/52 of a unit, or 1/50, so 1 week or 2 weeks in, and then the rest of the weeks are owned by other owners. So you're sharing that. In your fractional, you get 4 weeks out of the 52, and you own a fraction. So it's I call it timeshare on steroids. So instead of owning just the 1 or 2 weeks, you own the 4 weeks. Generally, a fractional week is 3 out of seasons, 1 in-season week. And then obviously on your sectional title, you own the unit outright. And then you have use into it that you can then use should you wish to for leisure opportunities, either to use locally at one of the 100 resorts that we've got affiliated, or alternatively internationally with one of our global exchange partners. But you own the unit outright. So there's a very distinct difference between your timeshare, your fractional, and your sectional title. And then obviously your sectional title is you're buying for rental returns. Your timeshare and your fractional will be more for leisure use, not for returns.
Yeah, and I guess, like we said, is that the Invest in Leisure component comes in where you've actually managed to combine a hybrid, hey? The financial investment side plus the leisure benefits.
100% right.
So Pat, without trying to throw all the questions at you at once, but I mean, thanks to everyone for posting questions. There are lots here, and I'm going to try and get through all of them. There's a duplicate questions basically between Nolene Turner and between Mohammed. Basically, the context is it fully managed pool, or do investors need to advertise themselves or deal with the admin, as Nolene has asked about?
I think that's what makes the product so unique. It is completely hassle-free. You have no worries about putting the units into the rental pool. You don't worry about the marketing. You don't worry about the refurbishment. You don't worry about the check-in, check-out. You don't worry about the collections of the rental income. It is all managed for you. And that makes the product exceptionally unique. I only know about 1 or 2 other developers that have created something along these lines. But Invest in Leisure definitely is ahead of the pack on this one.
Steph, can I weigh in a little bit on that, just to expand a little bit as well on, what do you need to do if you own one of these properties? What is your job versus what is the BMP's job, Beekman's job? And pretty much, like Pat says, Beekman Group handles everything for you. And so you've got the hassle-free ownership we've spoken about, which is pretty much all the daily responsibilities of the property, the maintenance management, rental services. It's just worry-free. You do have a group with decades of experience in the management and in how to manage properties and holiday accommodations. So you're in expert hands. Like Pat says, you're getting the consistent rental income. And what we do really well as a company, and we've done this well for many, many years, is we run an exceptionally good rental division, holiday rentals. So your holiday rentals are professionally managed rental programs. So it ensures that your property does generate income. You don't have to market it. It's all part of the ownership, the membership that you have. We have a marketing engine that's running, that's also quite established, quite well run. And then you've got these properties in prime locations. The upkeep of your property, so it's seamless property management. So it's regular upkeep to get services. Every aspect of your property is managed efficiently, and you're still earning rental income. And besides that, it is again going back to that trust factor. And with the Beekman Group overseeing all aspects of property management, your investment is protected, it's well maintained, and you pretty much have peace of mind. And then on top of that, we've got a wonderful support system in member services who, as a BMP member, you have full suite of support services, ensuring that your investment is both profitable but also enjoyable. Leave it up to the Beekman Group and we'll actually do it all for you. So I just wanted to expand a little bit on just reiterate the fact that we handle maintenance, rental, everything for you.
Perfect. And I think that answers quite a few questions here that have come up. And again, thanks to everyone for your questions, and please keep them coming. So I think just to go through a few of them as we go. So I know Danisita has asked, is the sectional title to be registered in my name? I mean, I can just answer that absolutely. So you'll take full transfers you would have every property. So obviously in the market you can either have freehold properties or sectional title, both full ownership, one managed by body corporate, other managed by homeowner association. And like I said, it's exactly that, but just with the leisure benefits. And then I think, Pat, if I can, I mean, I don't think necessarily going into all the detail, but just explaining high level. I mean, Mohammed's asked a question, and it's been echoed a few times. How does it work overall in terms of he's asked Kaylee as an example, high level, how does a financial breakdown work in terms of what you pay versus the costs that come off every month to get to an income per month? And is that income the same every month, or does it fluctuate based on occupancies?
Okay, so thank you very much for that question, Mohammed. It's quite involved and quite integral, but I'll try and cover as much as I can. So basically, in terms of your rental pool, we put the units into rental pool, so the same units go into the same rental pool. When I say that, so a suite would share in a suite income, a family suite would share in a family suite income, and so on and so forth, so that the income is equally shared. So if your occupancies are, for argument's sake, lower, you're still earning, even though your specific unit may not have been occupied. And then obviously in higher seasons, then everybody also benefits, and that helps quite well. And that works very well with the rental pool, so that we do it according to consistent returns and consistent earnings in terms of the rental pool. In terms of earning equal or the same rental income per month, no, unfortunately that doesn't happen, because we've obviously got seasonality. Being a leisure product, your in-season, so your December, your Gauteng school holidays generally tend to yield much higher rental returns than your out-of-season weeks. For argument's sake, your April, May, or late April, May seasons, of where we yield slightly lower rental returns. But overall, consistently over a 12-month period, we are seeing, and we have shown 12% annual returns. But as I said, it does fluctuate monthly. But overall, you're getting a consistent 12% over a 12-month period return on your investment. Does that answer? And then, does that answer your question, Stefan, or do you want me to elaborate a little bit more?
No, it does. I'm just going to ask you just to elaborate on the occupancies, but I think also just to add to Pat's point there, just for context. I think people realize in the residential space at the moment, in the high-end properties, if you look at like a rental return, I'm saying this, if you get a net return of about 5 to 6%, you're doing pretty well, based on, there's always going to be a shortfall mainly in most properties between your long-term rental income versus what you pay on your bond. to get a 12% return, I mean, in context for anyone, a 10% net return means that you're paying off your property over 10 years based on the rental income you're getting after costs have been deducted. So a 12% return it's exceptionally strong, and it's showing that you're going to pay your property off after all costs have been deducted in less than a 10-year period. So, and I think that's the kind of stuff we can break down for people. We have done calculations, but it's a very, very exciting financial proposition just on its own as a financial. If you just want to park it as a financial, the benefit comes if you want to use it for leisure purposes over and above that. But I think, Pat, if you can just talk about the occupancies. Obviously, every resort's got its different occupancies, and that obviously has an impact in terms of what is extracted every month.
Okay, perfect. Let's just go through it. Obviously, we've got the 4 different properties. Mendenhall Main is still off plan at the moment, so we obviously don't have any seasonality records that we can rely on. But in terms of your Cayley, so your Cayley performs exceptionally well over the winter months. So you're looking at your June, July school holidays, but also again, and where you're looking at 60-70% plus occupancies. And then obviously looking at December again, although in the Berg over a summer month, it still experiences exceptionally high occupancy. So where you're looking at occupancies of about 84%. Your lower occupancies at Cayley can range anything from about 40 to 50%. That's even at occupancies of 40 to 50%, you're still yielding fairly good returns. So in those off months, you're yielding anything between 4 and 6, and whereas over your December months and your high demand months, yielding anything between, let's call it 12 and 16%, averaging out over a 12-month period at about 12. Kingdom is an exceptionally good performing property. Obviously, you've got Sun City, you've got a lot of the concerts and all that still happening, especially when they have Miss South Africa there, or if they have any other big functions there that we managed to yield quite good occupancies off. But Kingdom yields generally anything between about 40 and 94% occupancies. Our lowest months being May and June. In the Pilanesberg area, the occupancies tend to be fairly low. You're looking at anything between 40 and 50, and going up into December up to about 95% occupancies at that property. Then San Martino performs exceptionally well. Their lower occupancy month seems to be, from past record, August, September. But other than that, they yield fairly consistently in the other 10 months, where they're showing returns between 13 and 16%, varying obviously depending on from month to month. But again, averaging out, San Martino currently is averaging out slightly higher than the other 2 properties, where it's averaging out at about 13 to 14, where the others are averaging out at about 12. And we're hoping to see a nice mix when Mendenhall Main comes on, to see what happens there.
Okay. And then I think, just for everyone's purpose, we will share the details of the sales team. Yes. During the chat and afterwards. So you can chat to, I mean, obviously I think the bigger thing is you've got a dedicated in-house specialized team. We'll be able to talk you through each of the different options in terms of what works for you in terms of preference, returns, and everything else. And I think that is obviously a big benefit of the solution that Beekman offer. So just to quickly go through a couple of things. Agnes has said, can we send a recording? Yes, Agnes, I know you said you missed out a lot due to network on your side. We will send a recording tomorrow to everyone, so you have the ability to go through it. Fiona, a question that's come up a few times, and it is always the golden question in terms of financing. What is available from a financing perspective if someone wants to purchase?
I think I'm going to defer that one to Pat, Stefan.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, perfect. So we currently obviously got 3 financing options in place. We've got the cash option, which is you buy and you pay cash. Then we've got a second option, which is an in-house financing, where we do a 15% deposit, and you can pay the balance of the purchase price over 11 months or less, and that attracts no interest. And then just recently we got Nedbank on board to do 10-year bonds, where you can then you apply through the normal channels for a bond with Nedbank, and then you can finance the property through Nedbank on a bond basis. So there's basically 3 options on how you can purchase the sectional title ownership.
Okay, perfect. And then I think so that was one of the questions that Nalene asked, and she also asked, is there a limit to the leisure properties that you can own?
Absolutely no limit on how many properties you can own, as long as you can afford them, and you can do the purchase price. There's absolutely no limit, and then the management of them, as we mentioned earlier, is completely on our side. It's completely hassle-free. So we have got some owners who own up to 4 to 5 units in Kingdom and Cayley. So we've got a number of owners who own a number of units and or villas in each one of the properties. And they're yielding exceptionally good returns, and they're happy.
And remembering that owning multiple properties also means that the 14 weeks is multiplied by the number of properties, the number of units that you own. So it's not 14 weeks in total that you get, it's 14 weeks per purchase that you actually make, that you can use for either staying at the specific resort, use it for family and friends. You can exchange it to go to overseas accommodation. The sky's the limit there. So it really does really open up the world for you.
Yeah. And I hope that question on financing answers quite a lot of the questions. I know, Sipiwe, you've asked one. And I do think the team will be able to guide you on which option works for you. I know Samuel said here he's interested in option 2, and then he can pay the 15% deposit as soon as possible. And I think that will be a direct communication with the sales team to work out that option for you. But yeah, I mean, I'm delighted with all these questions. It does help us clarify a lot. And then just a quick question from Mohammed, and maybe Pat for you. The question is the 12% ROI that's been quoted based on the inclusion of the personal use period?
If you look at the 12%, there are obviously owners that have made use of personal use over the period. So yes, give or take, it is. Generally, the owners don't obviously take their weeks out during high season, so they would generally take them out during lower demand. So then yes, the 12% would be included. But if you do decide to take up 4 weeks in December, then that would obviously have a negative impact. But I mean, we can show you those returns, we can show you those numbers, you can play around with it and see what works best.
Yeah, and I guess the beauty is the numbers are based on what's happening, not what's speculated, hey?
That's right.
And then 2 questions, one from Basil and from Paulo with regards to the selling of the property, asking, can you sell? And secondly, will you guys be able to assist with the sale of a property if someone wants to do so?
Yes, okay. So currently what we've got is we've got sales agents selling the property. If somebody wants to resell them, they would then approach those agents. They would then, as and when they get clients that they can market to, they would then resell, and you would then just work out the commission with them in terms of reselling those properties. But yes, we've had a number of units being used. When I say a number of units, it's less than 5, because obviously people see the value in the investment, and we've had very few people selling, but yes, there is a possibility to do so.
And what would your advice be to Cello, who said he owns timeshare, and can he change his package for rental pool?
Okay.
I think
I'm going to actually answer that for you. I'm going to answer that for you. What I strongly suggest, and I say that to a lot of my sectional title owners, I say, buy the sectional title, leave it in the rental pool, and buy some timeshare weeks on top. Although that is, the 14 weeks is definitely something that you can use. But if you're wanting to go during school holidays and so on, own both. I strongly recommend that, your sectional title will pay for your timeshare levies investment over and over again. Just as long as you're not buying, yeah. So have both.
Sense. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And a very good question. Does the price include furnishings?
Yes.
Or will there be an amount that's how do you furnish your unit, basically, from Dick Lady?
So I'm going to start off. So basically, we hand over the unit to lock, stock, and barrel with furnishing and everything in it, and also we maintain it for you. There's obviously a slight variation, slight tweak with San Martino, but we can discuss that in more detail if somebody is interested in buying. But in terms of the South African properties, we fully upkeep them, fully maintain them, and we replace the furniture if and when required. Generally, We work on a 7-year period of where we replace it, but we do replace them, and there's no worries about the furniture and or any of the fittings, and that we manage all of that.
And these are I nearly said timeshare. These are self-catering units that, depending on what you buy, whether you're buying a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, or a 3-bedroom, whatever it might be, with fully kitted out kitchens, with all the amenities in the rooms, the furniture in the lounge, the dining room, the bedrooms. It's almost, it is buying into a resort. So for us to be able to rent it out to your rental clients on the various booking platforms, we must be able to have a fully furnished unit. So we definitely keep that. And as Pat says, we keep an eye over that. And there's a cycle of refurbishments that happen in every single resort, so that the Beekman Group resorts are also really known for their high standards. And so when you go in, my husband also talks about this quite a bit, when he goes and visits any kind of resort or property, the standard that he always uses is it the same standard, as a Beekman Group one? And if he tells me, yeah, it's a Beekman Group property, you can see that, then it kind of tells you that your standards are great. And to do that, we've got to make sure that we're keeping it modern, we're keeping it clean, we're keeping it up to speed. There's some lovely units there, and the lovely facilities inside those various units, and especially in the Beekman managed portfolio. It really is your high-end property. So we have to make sure that we are keeping them up to standard.
And can I ask, either Pat or Fiona, just to summarize again, what the purchase prices or the entry level purchase prices are per option?
Okay, I can take you into it. So if you're looking at and I'm going to go into a little bit of detail, so please cut me short if I'm going into too much detail. Sure. Just on a suite, which is your general hotel unit, you're looking at about 1.3, just under 1.4 million. Then a family suite, which sleeps up to 4, also has a little bit of a kitchenette, some basic stuff to do your breakfast, and some light things. You're looking at just under 1.9 million. And then for a combination of a suite and a family suite at Katie, you're looking at 4.2 million. And then at the Kingdom, you're looking at, we're introducing a 2 and a 3-bedroom villas combination. You're looking at 3.1 up to, again, 4.2 million. And suite also going at 1.3, your family going just at under 1.9 million. And then between your 2-bedroom and your 3-bedroom villas going between, as I said, 3.1 to 4.5 million that you're looking at. But as I said, you can buy just a suite, you can just buy a family. If you can afford a suite now and you pay it over the 15% deposit and you pay it over 11 months, you can just keep on adding to your portfolio at any given time. And you can just keep on adding onto it.
And then Magalang has asked, what is the website link to view the various resorts of the Beekman Group? If I can just ask our team to post that link. Sana has asked, are you able to show what the unit looked like in terms of things? Yes, the team will be able to give you, show you all the imagery from the existing resort, and a lot of that is in our brochure, which I'm also going to ask the team to share, which you'll also be able to find on investinleisure.co.za, and on the Beekman managed portfolio. There's a question from James Fortain, and I'll answer that, and anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but he's asked, is the off-plan option amendment main tax deductible as per the Section 13.6? James, the Section 13.6 applies to off-plan new developments directly from the developer. Obviously, if you have a portfolio of 5 or more properties. So yeah, I'm assuming from our side, based on my knowledge of the Act, that it would absolutely apply. Which is a really, really good tax deductible benefit for any investor with a portfolio. Sure, there's a lot of questions here, so I'm trying to get to as many as I can. Tax governor, Pat asked about for sectional title options. advising the levies and maintenance costs associated. I know it's been asked a little bit. We will provide a breakdown. I don't know if you don't want to touch on the high level how it works, but we will try and provide a breakdown per unit type for everyone.
So basically, just in a nutshell, so we take the suites, we pool them into a pool, we take the income, we deduct the commission, we deduct the operating expenses, we deduct the body corporate, we take the VAT off, and the balance is shared out amongst the owners. And then generally, like for argument's sake now, the returns for August would be paid out by the 20th of September, and that's paid every single month out to the owners the 20th of each month preceding the month that they earn the rental income. It's very simple. The process is very seamless. The money is in your account, and you obviously get a breakdown in the beginning of the month, just giving you a breakdown of exactly what the expenses were. We try to keep, obviously, the body corporate expenses are fairly consistent. In terms of the operating expenses, we flex that in terms of the occupancies and past trends, so that we can make sure that your earnings for that month are always in the positive.
Thanks. And I think that also answers Ernest's question, where he said, if I buy 2 units, do I earn monthly or annual rental returns? And yeah, so I think Pat's answered that in terms of it's paid monthly in the following month after the return.
Yeah. So
I think that's sort of the end of the run on questions, and I really appreciate everyone for there's some really, really good questions, and I hope we've answered a lot of that. But we will, like I said, do a follow-up, and I think we will definitely provide more information for everyone in terms of the breakdown per unit type, but would highly encourage you to reach out to the team. I mean, Pat, what's the best way? I know our team have posted the 087-6555-4606 number, and also the info at investinleisure.co.za. What is the best way for someone to contact you guys if they want to take this further?
Again, I would suggest the telephone call. I would suggest an email. I do strongly suggest, though, that if you are going to take the time and you are wanting to investigate and look at this property, do ensure that a sales agent at least makes telephonic contact with you to take you through the detail. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of information to absorb, but there's nothing better than a face-to-face, sitting with the agent, going through it, and then just having all the information in hand and understanding it all, and then making a decision from there. It is really, and I know I'm an employee of the Beekman Group, but it is a really good investment. It makes sense. Even the bonding option, if you've got the 15% deposit, have a look at it. It really does genuinely make financial sense. But look at the numbers, so that I'm not just talking for myself, but look at the numbers and you'll see that it makes sense. But you need to see an agent. I think that sometimes what happens is you get a lot of information. You have this webinar, we send you a lot of information. It's a little bit of information overkill instead of having somebody breaking it down for you. So have somebody come see you is my suggestion.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the fact that we've all seen lots of different investment options, but all generally super excited about this because of what it offers. And I think the reputation, I think everything about this is about the quality of delivery of the product, the quality of the management, the transparency, all of those things. You want to be dealing with guys who have been there, done it, have a track record, and have been in the industry for a long period of time. And I think that's exactly why, we were so excited to be able to be involved in this with the Beekman Group. So, I think just to re-emphasize, 087-655-4606 if you want to chat to the team directly, info@investinleisure.co.za, or go on to investinleisure.co.za as the website. But I think we're going to wrap up. I don't know if there's Pat or Fiona, I don't know if there's any you guys want to add before we wrap up.
I think most questions have been asked and answered. The Invest in Leisure uniqueness of having a leisure property in an organization that really is one of the leading players in the leisure and hospitality industry does make for a very secure and solid investment. Again, just to reiterate, 50 years of experience comes with a lot of backing and build relationships and track record. And so I think, having that leisure aspect to it is, like you said in the beginning, is a complete different way of going about that. And to have that with the enormous returns that we are actually seeing is a bit of a no-brainer for me. And it is important, if it is an investment you're looking for, to get hold of, like Stefan said, get hold of one of the sales agents, have a discussion with them, ask them whatever questions that you need to ask before you need to make a decision. Obviously, this is 45 minutes that we can, or 50 minutes, to talk about a company that's got a 50-year track record. But if you do need a little bit more, speak to an agent, let them take you through it step by step, and then make an informed decision from there. And then just figure out which of the properties really, grabs your attention. And again, if you're wanting to go and visit the properties, they are available on rentals as well. You can go on a holiday there to actually just go and check it out, or speak to an agent who will arrange a site visit for you. You can actually come on site and have a look at the property itself. So yeah, I think get in touch with us and we can take it from there.
And then I just think from my side, I think the very exciting part is all the properties that we're looking at, we are still developing, we are still building, and we are still generating the returns. Kingdom, now we're on our 5th node of developing units. Cayley, we're now on our 7th phase of development. So the development is going strong. San Martino, we've developed close to 40 sectional title units there. So they are very strong, very solid properties. And that's very exciting for me. And the infrastructure is good, and the facilities are good. And but as Fiona says, go and have a look at it. Go and have a look at the properties. Chat to your sales agent, and you can make your decision on your own.
Fiona, thanks very much for joining me. It's been great chatting, and thanks to everyone for all your questions and for joining us. It's been a really, really good turnout. And we know it's a Tuesday night or Wednesday night, or whatever, Tuesday night. So it's but and everyone's busy, but we really appreciate it. And we look forward to sending you guys the recording with the information, the brochure for Invest in Leisure, which I think a lot of you find really useful, and for you to take your discussions further with the Beekman team. So thanks very much for joining us, and hope you all have a great evening.
Thanks, Stefan. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Appreciated it.
Thank you so much, and have a lovely evening, everyone who joined us.